What's going on, YouTube? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Welcome to Texas Podcast. It's Christmas Day. Hopefully, everybody's having a good holiday time and spending a quality time with their families. It's not always about the gifts or presents, but more of the time, the dinner, the lunch that you have with your family, the time. So I wanted to say thank you to everybody that's been subscribing, supporting the channel, uh, dropping good, bad comments, positive, negative comments. They're all welcomed, and I appreciate every feedback. I know the audio in the past couple of videos has been kind of bad, and I've been trying to figure it out. The Rodecaster, for some reason, it's not. It's brand new. The microphone, everything's new, so I don't see why everything's not working. Maybe it's somewhere in the software. Maybe there's something, or maybe I do have too many tabs open at the time. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But I do have AT&T, and I was checking into it. I have the highest plan that they offer at the time. You know, I was thinking maybe, I have three kids and they're always, playing Fortnite, Netflixing, or they're doing something that's consuming up the Wi-Fi and all the devices, their phones, plus the TVs, plus the PlayStations. You know, my other option was thinking about just connecting the laptop straight to the Ethernet. Straight to the modem. Or maybe I was thinking about just getting a a specific Wi-Fi, a hotspot from T-Mobile, and just be a dedicated just to stream and do lives and whatnot. And a few updates. You know, Jonathan Schwartz. I reached out to him. I sent him like 6 questions about 2 days ago, but he replied to me that he was going to get back to me after Christmas. He was attending some kind of Cuban Christmas party, so he's a busy man, enjoying his retirement, enjoying life. So whenever he chooses to get back to me, hey, I'm not going to be bugging the man. He's actually doing me a favor if he actually replies to those questions with the answers that I was looking for. So just got to be patient on that end. You know, I got some more content coming out. Where it's just going to be that person just interviewing himself. Just talking to the camera and see how that goes. And we'll do some more interviews with one on one with the guest. But you know, right now I just want to see where this goes and just taking it day by day. Not really. How can I say? I guess just playing it by the ear. Whatever comes. Like I said, I'm not a content creator, but you know, I think I would like to start doing it and taking it more seriously and bringing content to the masses that people like. You know, but from every aspect of different situations. Religion, politics, lifestyles. Trades. Anything that we can help the youth be a better of themselves for the future. Because at the end of the day, they're the ones that are going to be running the situation here. So if we can build character and the law-abiding citizens, hey, why not? And if we can help a couple of youth during our journey, why not? I just wish that this Mark and Hips would have gone a different direction, for both of them, because at one time or another, they were both victims of the circumstances of their environment, and I wish they would have been able to dialogue, had some good arguments. But at the end of the day, when everything was said and done, they would have had some closure amongst themselves. You know, getting some of that stuff off your chest. You know, and there would have been good dialogue between the abuser and the abused. But hopefully, we can still get that in the works. Get some kind of closure for both of them. And hope that that's it. Hopefully, I'll enjoy this video from Charles Hips. This is basically his life. Cut into 40 minutes, but he got a lot more, and I'm gonna bring a lot more guests coming up. Thank y'all so much. Y'all enjoy your holidays, and hopefully I can continue to drop some more videos for y'all to enjoy. Y'all have a good one.
I didn't come back until a few years ago. So it's been a rough road. I got incarcerated. Well, I started forging checks, probably about 16 or 17 years old. Got on probation, in and out of trouble for that. And it finally led to I stole a bunch of payroll checks from Champion Paper Mill. And that got me. I forged up about $600,000 worth of payroll checks. I rolled on. I went to court on it. I had a 5-year sentence already, and they gave me a 25-year sentence running wild with it. So I had 30 years. And, I sat in the county jail probably for a year before I went down. I was 21 when I went down, and I'm 54 now. So I first went down, I went to Kilby. Okay, I thought with a nonviolent crime, I'd probably get classed up to go to work release or a honor camp or something like that. Nonviolent offender, young. I didn't really see no big thing in it, no big deal. So they classed me up like I thought to go to a work release, but I had to go do a 6-week SAP program at Draper Correctional Institution, and Draper was like a first offenders camp. Yeah, it was a first offenders camp for people just coming to prison, never been in any trouble, anything like that. I got down there. I didn't get in my SAP program because, I never had any intentions to anyway. I wasn't a drug addict. I was a money addict. So, one thing rocked on. I met a few guys. Draper was just kiddie camp. Everybody down there, first offenders, basically the same age, just a bunch of kids running wild. Well, we got caught up in Christmas packages come in. And there was 4 of us white dudes that run together. And we slept in a dorm called 2-cell on the rock, which was what it was. It was a 2-story dorm, and upstairs it had a little platform that set maybe 4 foot higher than the rest of the dorm with a staircase that led up to it. And we slept up on that platform. Well, we were the only 4 white guys in the whole block. And there were 198 men in there. So it was 196 or 194 black guys. We didn't have too much problem. But like I said, anyway, Christmas packages rolled around. And we could get 4 40-pound boxes in the month of December mailed in from home. Well, we all got our Christmas boxes on about the same time. So we're the 4 white guys in the black man dorm. And they robbed us. We was run out of the dorm that day to go to our Christmas lunch because it was Christmas. To go to our Christmas lunch, everybody had to go except for a couple of people that the officers let stay in the dorm to watch the dorm. So when people started coming back in the dorm, they went. So when all this happened anyway, make a long, drawn out story short, bottom line is they stole our shit while we were going to lunch. And it was either we make a stand right here and get our shit back, or they're going to keep stealing our shit. There's no other way around this. So they called yard call, and we 4 went out on the yard. Asked, it didn't take long. I mean, we knew who did it. We found out who did it. There are no secrets in prison. I'll tell you that now. There are no secrets in prison from other inmates. So we found out who did it. And we caught the guy and his partners on the weight pile. I caught him on the bench, and I hit him in the face with the end of a wooden push broom. Tried to split his head open like a piece of firewood. Well, this kicked off a whole riot at the camp, and it's documented. This riot is. It happened in 1992 at Draper Correctional Facility in the state of Alabama. It's probably the worst prison riot ever, but it kicked off a whole riot. It was a racist riot is what it kicked off, and it didn't even start as that. It wasn't no racial stuff. It was 4 white guys standing together because they stole our shit that our mom and daddy sent us. Well, the repercussions behind that were when the riot started, they locked the camp down. So we were caught outside. It was us and maybe 8 or 9 other white boys out there on the whole yard with a yard full of black guys. In the camp, they had locked the camp down because it started outside. We started it. But now they took all the white guys out of the camp and put them on the visitation yard, except for us 4 and the other 7 or 8 white guys that were outside. And man, we like to have got stomped to death out there on that yard. And I'm talking about by 40, 50 people just stomping on us. Well, when it was all over and they investigated, put us in lockup, kept us at Draper lockup for probably 8 months. Well, then they separated us. They sent me and another guy, Kenneth Dozier. They sent us to West Jefferson, and they sent Mike Green to St. Clair, and they sent Gary Cotton to Holman. Okay, when I got to West Jefferson, I'd heard all these war stories about West Jefferson, how West Jefferson was the level 6 institution, and you know, all the crazy criminals and the lifers and the life without and all this that were there. And that's true, they all are there. But the max camps are a lot different that I found out through experience than the medium camps. It's a different respect level because you're dealing with people that's been there for years and years and years, and they've still got years and years left, and they're probably going to die there. So they consider that their home. And when a new inmate comes in, you're set down by the old timers and they explain that to you. This is our home. And you're going to treat it like our home. You're just a visitor. You may be here 10 years, but you're going to leave eventually. You're just a visitor. This is our home, and it's treated like that. And so that, you know, it's a whole different respect level. But the rape game and that was different there because it was all one-man cells. They're not, you don't know what went on in them cells once them doors closed. But still, at West Jefferson, I didn't have no problems, none whatsoever. I stayed there probably a year or 2, getting, just violating, being out of pocket all the time, going to different dorms, gambling, smoking pot, smoking whatever I get my hands on. I'm in prison, I'm running around with the young guys, I'm doing what they're doing. You know, making money and all this, that, and other never even occurred to me back then. So, one thing led to another, and disciplinary after disciplinary for being out of pocket, an unauthorized area, insubordination, failure to obey a direct order, just bullshit disciplinaries. Well, that got me transferred. And they sent me down to Holman, where I did 11 years. Well, this time I didn't. I ended up going back later. But this time when I went to Holman, I did 6 years first time. And I fell in with some odd guys. They was homeboys. We was all from North Alabama. And these in Holman is in South Alabama, in Mobile, or in Atmore, Alabama, on the Florida line. So I'm as far away from home as you can possibly get me. And I can't get no visits down here because it's too far. So I really just got into doing my time down there. But I started smoking weed again and drinking whiskey and gambling and all this and the other, same thing, just a wild young kid in prison. So I fell in with a guy from Huntsville, Alabama, and I didn't think nothing of it, you know, and he never cracked me about no homosexual shit. But I come in from work one day, and I was working in the kitchen. I was a cook. So I come in from work one day, I get to the dorm, I get to my bed, and I slept all the way in the back corner in 3 cell at home. I get to my bed, I got in my cut, and next thing I know, I'm beat down. I'm beat down by 4 inmates, thrown in the floor, and I'm raped. And that's what happened. And it was the most excruciating, painful thing that I've ever been through in my life. It fucked with me emotionally, physically, mentally, because my objection was now when I'm through, I'm going to kill everybody that did this. If I catch them one at a time, and if it takes me 100 years, that's what's going to happen. Well, they put me in lockup. Stayed in lockup till about a year. I left Holman. And that's when I decided this will never happen to me again, ever. When I left Holman in 1999, I went to St. Clair, to the therapeutic community TC program at Holman. It's a big drug rehab, and really, honestly, and truly, just to be honest with you, it was a safe haven for white folks. All the white folks were going to this drug program because it was completely isolated from the rest of the camp. So that's where I went. And I told my story, got some counseling on it, and still my mind is set. I'm going to kill these son of bitches, every one of them. One at a time, if I find them, that's what's going to happen. You're not going to do me this way and get away with it. Well, it rocked on, stayed at St. Clair till I stayed at St. Clair in 2004. I think it was November of 2004. I transferred to Limestone. Well, you know, I'm happy. I'm ecstatic to go to Limestone. I'm right up here in the middle of where I live. I'm going to know people. I'm going to be able to see my family and all that. And it happened. I saw my family every weekend once I got there. Knew a bunch of people up here, people from the streets that I knew, inmates and guards. So I thought, well, this ain't going to be too bad. Well, I met Mark. And I met Mark on the weight pile. No, I met Mark in the dorm. He was my bunk mate, but I never really got to talking to Mark too much. I started working out. Thought, well, I'll go to weight pile. I'm going to try to do this different, try to go and get my shit together and go home. Well, I met Mark. Like I said, we started talking on the weight pile. And I was explaining to him that, you know, hey, I'm from up here. I get a lot of money in. And I'd like to make some money and just sit down and do my time. And we got to talking about a business plan. We put a plan together. I'd get up the money. We put it in different boxes throughout the camp, and we'd loan it out 2 for 3 every week. Never had to worry about nothing, and it worked just like that. We loaned it out 2 for 3, 3 for 5, 6 for 10, 5 for 8, whatever, however they wanted. And I mean, man, pumped up quick. For long, had the biggest store in all of Limestone. Well, and then I started finding out about Mark. I started watching what he's doing on the sides. He's got boys everywhere. He's got 3 white boys. David Mendenhall, David Sanders, and I keep forgetting the other guy's name, but there was 3 of them. And it was Johnny something or other. I just can't remember. So I meet them. They know who I am. They know where this money's coming from. And it started out, I took one of them with me. Okay, you're going to do this. I told Mark I need one of them to work for me. I need him to keep up with inventory. I need me to show him how to do things. I need him to be the book person. He needs to keep up with this. Because I'm not going to. I'm not going to keep up with it. I'm going to run around and do my thing. My thing was gambling. I've been a poker player all my life. I played poker, slick big tickets, parlay boards. That's what I do. I was a gambler. So, well, money starts coming up short. I started asking questions. I want to know where this money's going because there's no record of it. We're supposed to have this and we don't. We have this. So I started asking questions. I'll get to the bottom of it. This is what Mark says. I'll find out. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I got it straightened out. Blah, blah, blah. But it never got straightened out. He wasn't doing number line. Because what he was doing he was taking the money out of the box and buying stuff for them boys and keeping them happy because they were his wife. And I kept watching him. He'd go over and lay down in the bed with Mindy, or he'd be walking around the yard, and him and Gary Sanders hanging all over each other, or Barnett. That was his name, Barnett. It wasn't Johnny. His last name was